If you've ever taken a road trip thinking nothing bad could happen, this story will change that for you. Because what happened to me and my friends, Evan, Blake, Hunter, and Zara, still follows me today. Literally. It started during our spring break drive up the old hill station route. No streetlights, no houses, just endless forest swallowing the road. Around midnight, rain hit out of nowhere. Thick, heavy, like someone flipped a switch above us. The car skidded, fishtailed, and slammed to a stop inches from the guardrail. Engine dead. Phones dead. Road empty. And that silence, it felt wrong. Like we were the only humans left on the planet. That's when Evan pointed into the dark. Far up the hill, a faint yellow glow shimmered, coming from a half-built, abandoned-looking mansion. No sound, no life, just that light. "We should head there," Blake muttered. I didn't want to. Something in my chest told me we were walking into a mistake. But the rain kept getting worse, and staying in the broken car felt like waiting for something to find us first. So we walked toward that eerie mansion, each step heavier than the last. When we reached the porch, the massive door creaked open on its own, and a girl stepped out, silent, pale, almost glowing in the rain. "You can come inside," she whispered. "You don't want to be out here tonight." She was right. And that was the biggest mistake we ever made. The moment we stepped inside, the temperature shifted. Not warmer, just different. Like the air didn't belong to this century. The mansion looked abandoned, dust on the floor, cracked walls and furniture that seemed older than the town itself. But the hallway Mira led us through was oddly clean, almost untouched. Her bare feet made zero sound on the wooden floor, and that bothered me more than anything else. "You live here alone?" Zara asked, trying to break the tension. Mira paused mid-step. "I stay here." She said it like she was choosing her words carefully. Blake leaned close to me and whispered, "Something's off about her. She's too calm." He was right. Mira moved like she was floating. Her hair didn't sway when she walked. Even her breathing felt rehearsed. Evan wasn't seeing any of this. He watched Mira with this strange pull in his eyes, like he already trusted her. And when she looked back at him, her smile sharpened just a little too perfectly. She guided us into a dim, candle-lit room. "You should rest. The night is long here," she whispered. That sentence echoed through my skull. Not "the night is long," but "the night is long here." As if time itself behaved differently inside these walls. And somewhere deep in the mansion, I swear I heard a whisper that didn't belong to any of us. I don't know how long we sat in that dim room, listening to the candle crackle like it was struggling to stay alive. The storm outside had turned violent, wind slamming against the mansion as if trying to warn us to get out. Mira had disappeared into one of the hallways without a sound. No footsteps, no door closing, nothing, just gone. "Guys, does anyone else feel like we're being watched?" I finally asked. Blake nodded slowly. Zara hugged her arms tighter. Hunter kept staring at the long corridor Mira vanished into. Evan, though, he looked almost hypnotized, like he was waiting for her to come back. That's when we heard it. A soft whisper sliding across the walls, like someone speaking through cracked wood. It wasn't one voice. It was many, layered, echoing, calling. "Did you guys hear that?" Hunter whispered, eyes wide. Before anyone could answer, one of the portraits across the room creaked. The painting showed a family, old-fashioned clothes, stiff expressions. But the father's eyes, they weren't looking forward anymore. They were looking at us. The pupils had shifted, just slightly, but enough to make my stomach twist. "Okay, we need to leave," Zara muttered. She stood up, but the door behind us slammed shut so hard the candle nearly went out. That whispering grew louder, crawling around us like cold fingers. And when Mira finally appeared again at the entrance of the hallway, she didn't look the same. Her face was the same shape, but not the same person. When Mira stepped back into the room, something inside me tightened, like my body recognized danger before my mind did. Her face was familiar, but her eyes weren't. They were darker, deeper, like she'd lived 100 years in the few minutes she was gone. "Are you all okay?" she asked, voice soft but strangely hollow. The way she spoke felt different too, like someone else was speaking through her. Evan didn't notice any of it. His voice cracked with relief. "Where did you go? We thought you—" Mira gently pressed a finger to his lips. "You worry too quickly." Blake stepped back, whispering, "Dude, that is not the same girl." And he was right. Her posture had changed completely. The calm, gentle Mira was gone. This one was sharper, hungrier. "I want to show you something," she said, gliding toward the hallway. The candle flickered wildly as she passed, like even the flame tried to pull away from her. None of us moved. She didn't ask again. She just stared, straight at me. Her eyes locked onto mine, and a cold rush spilled down my spine like ice melting inside my ribs. "Come," she whispered. "You need to understand the house before the house understands you." Zara grabbed my arm. "Don't go." But Blake pushed his glasses up, jaw clenched. "Someone goes with her, or she comes back with something worse." In the end, Hunter and I followed her down that endless hallway, even though every step felt like walking deeper into a place we were never meant to see. Mira led us deeper into the mansion, down a hallway that felt impossibly long, like the house stretched itself when no one was looking. The air grew heavier with every step, thick enough to taste. Hunter whispered, "Dude, are the walls getting narrower?" I didn't want to answer, because I felt it too. The hall was closing in around us like ribs of some giant creature. Mira stopped at a wooden door with rusted metal hinges. "Whatever you do," she murmured, "don't look away once we're inside." She said it calmly, but her voice shook, just once. When she pushed the door open, a foul cold rushed out, carrying the smell of wet soil and rotting wood. The room inside was small, circular, with walls covered in old photographs. Hundreds of them. My stomach turned when I realized they were all portraits of people. But the faces were scratched out. Every single one. Hunter lifted one photo closer to the candlelight. These clothes, they're decades old. Mira stood behind him, watching too closely. "They stayed here," she whispered, "just like you." I stepped back, my heel crunching on something. I looked down. There were teeth on the floor. Human teeth. My breath froze in my chest. What happened to them? Mira's expression flickered. Beautiful one second, hollow the next. "The house keeps what it needs." Then Hunter tapped my shoulder. Hard. Bro, one of the photos changed. I looked up. The scratched-out face in the nearest picture now looked exactly like me. The moment I saw my own face inside that photograph, something inside me snapped. My instinct screamed to run, but my legs felt locked in place, like the room itself was holding me still. Hunter grabbed my arm. "We're getting out, now!" He yanked me toward the door, but Mira stepped in front of it with unnatural speed. "You shouldn't leave yet," she whispered. The candle trembled violently, its flame stretching toward her like it was being pulled by an invisible thread. Hunter's voice shook. "Move, Mira!" She didn't blink, didn't breathe, didn't even flinch. "You followed me," she said softly. "That means the house has already seen you." My heart pounded so hard I felt it in my throat. "What does that mean?" Mira stepped closer, her face too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't meant to move the way human faces do. "It means you are no longer visitors," she whispered. "You are part of it now." Before I could react, a deep groaning sound rolled through the walls. Not like wood settling, more like something alive waking up. The photographs around us began to shake, tapping against the walls like hundreds of fingernails. Then one of the scratched-out faces started whispering. A voice, raspy, wet, broken, called out, "Hunter." Hunter froze, eyes wide, blood draining from his face. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. The whisper came again, louder this time. "Hunter, stay." The floorboards rippled under us, like something was crawling beneath the room. And before either of us could move, the door behind Mira slammed shut on its own, sealing us inside with whatever had just spoken. The room went dead silent, except for the faint whisper still curling through the walls like smoke. Hunter backed away from the portraits, breathing fast, eyes fixed on the one that spoke his name. "We're leaving," he said. "I don't care what she says." He shoved past Mira, and she didn't even try to stop him. That scared me more than if she had. Hunter pulled the door open and bolted into the hallway. I followed, but the hallway felt wrong. Longer, darker, like it was rearranging itself. "Hunter, wait!" I yelled. His footsteps echoed ahead of me, sharp, hurried, panicked. Then suddenly, silence. When I turned the corner, he was gone, completely gone. No footsteps, no breath, no sound. Just his shoe, one shoe, lying in the center of the hall, still warm, like he'd been standing in it seconds ago. "Hunter!" My voice cracked. "Hunter, answer me!" Only the house answered. A long, slow creak traveling through the ceiling beams, like something shifting above us. Blake and Zara came running from the main room, pale as ghosts. "Where is he?" Blake asked. I held up the shoe with shaking hands. "He was right here, and then he wasn't." That's when Zara gasped and pointed behind me. Mira stood at the end of the hallway, still, silent, watching us with eyes that didn't look human anymore. "The house took him," she whispered. "It needs someone to stay." And the way she said, "someone," made my whole body go cold. Because it sounded like she meant more than just one. After Hunter vanished, something shifted in the mansion, like the house had finally woken up. Every corner felt sharper, every shadow deeper, every breath heavier. Time itself felt stuck. Blake checked his phone again, even though we knew the answer. "It's still 12:17. he whispered. "It's been 40 minutes. Why isn't the time changing?" Zara hugged herself, trembling. "It's like the night doesn't want to end." Mira stepped closer, and for the first time, she didn't hide the truth in her expression. "The night doesn't move here unless the house allows it," she said in a soft, almost apologetic tone. "This place isn't meant for living people." My heart slammed against my ribs. "Where's Hunter?" Mira's gaze drifted to the ceiling. "Between the walls, between the hours." Blake snapped. "What does that even mean?" She didn't answer. Instead, she lifted her hand and pointed toward the grand staircase. "If you want to see him again," she whispered, "you have to go where he went." Her voice trembled, almost like she was pleading with us not to follow through. But then, the sound returned. A dragging noise, slow, wet, heavy, coming from upstairs. "That's him," Zara whispered. Her voice cracked with hope and terror mixed together. Blake grabbed her arm. "No, that's not him." He was right. Whatever was moving up there, it didn't sound human. Then the lights flickered, every candle, every shadow bending like the air was warping, and from the top of the staircase, a silhouette appeared. Tall, twisted, and wearing Hunter's other shoe. The silhouette at the top of the staircase didn't move at first. It just stood there, too tall, too stretched, like someone had pulled a human shape until the bones didn't fit anymore. The air thinned around us. Even breathing felt like swallowing broken glass. "Hunter?" Zara whispered, her voice barely holding itself together. The figure twitched, once, sharply, like a puppet getting yanked by the wrong string. Then it started descending, slow, heavy, deliberate. Each step groaned louder than the last, the old wood cracking like it was under unbearable weight. But the worst part was the shoe, Hunter's shoe, dragging against the stairs as if the creature's foot didn't fully fit inside it. Blake grabbed my arm. "We're not staying for this. Move." But the moment we turned, Mira blocked our path. "Don't run," she said urgently. "It follows movement." That single sentence froze every muscle in my body. The creature reached the bottom of the stairs. Now I could see it clearly. A shadowy, skinless shape, ribs stretching under thin, translucent flesh, head tilted like it was listening to something inside the walls. And then, it raised its hand. Hunter's bracelet dangled from its wrist. Zara choked back a sob. Blake whispered, "It took him. It turned him." The thing snapped its head toward us, fast enough to blur, like it finally sensed our fear. A wet, rattling breath crawled from its throat. Mira stepped in front of us, shaking now, voice breaking. "He's not gone. Not yet. But if it reaches you, you will be." The creature took one more dragging step toward us, and the entire mansion seemed to lean in, listening. Somehow, Evan and I made it out of that room. Somehow, Mira guided us past the stairs, past the whispering walls, past the thing wearing Hunter's shoe. But the mansion didn't let go. The air behind us hummed like it was alive, stretching its fingers toward our backs. Mira turned to us, her pale face soft again, almost human, but her eyes still carried centuries of sorrow. "You can leave," she whispered, "but not everyone goes." Blake froze. I didn't understand at first. "What do you mean?" he asked. Mira's gaze softened on me, on Evan. "Love keeps me tethered, because I "I care for him," she said. Her voice trembled. And just like that, the spell lifted around us. The mansion doors opened, the rain outside stopped pounding, and the night seemed normal. But when we looked back, we saw the truth. Blake and Hunter were gone. Not in the way we could save, not in the way we could even find. Only the empty hallway remained, silent, dark, and hungry. Evan and I stumbled down the road, never speaking. The world felt colder, lonelier. And even though we were outside the mansion, the night didn't leave us. Every window we passed, every reflection we caught, I saw her, Mira, watching, waiting for the next time the house needed a soul, waiting for me. And that's the part no one tells you about surviving haunted places. You may walk away alive, but the ghosts never really leave.